Hello friends, welcome back to my channel Varteta Learning Platform. And in today's video, we are going to see an example of how to open a file to write on it. Okay, so to open a file to write on it, we can use the object of ofstream. Okay, so you can create ofstream o file and you can give the name of the file. Suppose it's C. Inside the folder Vikash, there should be one file like test.txt. And the second argument in this constructor can be the mode in which you are going to open the file. But if you don't provide the mode in which you are going to open the file, by default, the mode is iOS out, which means you are going to open a file in the write mode. Whenever you open a file in the write mode, then if the file exists, then it is overwritten. A new file is created. But if the file exists, if the file doesn't exist, then a new file gets created. So overall, it will overwrite any of the files that are already available. Right? So in case of is out, which is the default case, the file will be opened for writing. Okay. So for this offstream, to get the object of this offstream, you need to include the header fstream, hash include fstream, and then you can simply write using namespace std, and then you can start using it, offstream o file. Okay. So along with writing to the file, we will see the use of buffer as well. Okay. I'm just going to write. If you have to write to the file, just like cout, you need to use this o file and this operator using which you can write to the file. So o file, and you can write like my name Vikash1, and then I can write like o file Vikash2, then o file Vikash3. Okay, so these three lines, at least one more line I should add. So o file Vikash4. So these are the 4 lines I have written. Okay, now let us see how it works. So I will just compile it. Okay, so go to the Vikash folder, and here I will create a file. Inside the Vikash, test.txt will be created. So first of all, let me remove this file which is already created there with name Vikash10. So I have just removed that. And please note that we are going to create a text file. Okay, if you have to create a binary file, you use this flag, iOS binary, right? So if you have to create a binary file, you will simply write something like this, iOS. It's like for writing, and then it will be iOS and then binary. So this is how you can write it if you have to open it in the binary mode. But as of now, we are going to use it for the text mode. Okay, so let us write this. Let us open this file and let us write the content to this file. So let me start. I am putting a breakpoint here. So after this first statement, you will be able to see a file got created. Okay, so I'm just running it, and the breakpoint will stop here. So you can see it stopped here. So once I move to the next statement, then you should be able to see a file got created. So here you can see a file got created at this time, 13:23. So this has been created currently. Now let us move to the next statement. In the next statement, I have tried to write Vikash-1. So let us see if it really written there. If I open this, you can see that nothing has been written in this file. Why? Because the reason is the buffering. We have discussed about the streams in the in a few videos back. I think there was a video previous to this video, and there is one more video previous to that video. There is video about the files and streams. You can see in the same channel. C++ tips and tricks, this is the same playlist. And in the same playlist, you will be able to see a video with title, I think, streams and files in C++. So if you will see that, we have discussed there like how the contents which have to be written to the file, they are not directly written to the file. Rather, there is a buffer in between the program, or you can say the source, and the sink, which is the actual file on the hard disk. Okay, so here when we are writing through this O file to Vikash 1, and we know that we are working on the high level file handling. I have already discussed about the high level and low level file handling in that video itself. So we are handling all the things in a high level file handling manner. So if we are working in the high level file handling model, then in that case, the high level file handling already maintains the buffer in between the source and the sink. So whatever you are writing like Vikash 1, Vikash 2, this all is going to a buffer. Okay. So this all is going to a buffer. Right now it is inside the buffer. So that is why it is not going to this. You can see that there is nothing inside this file. Now, if I go to the next statement, then also Vikash 2 has been written. But again, this will not be written here. If you open this, you will not be able to see anything written there. Nothing in the file. Even the first statement or the second statement, nothing came. So if I reach to the third statement and Vikash 3, we are expecting that this should have also been written. But again, this will not be written here. Again, if I go to the return 0, which means all the statements have been executed, and now I went to the return 0 and I have not executed return, and at this point as well there is nothing written. But once you are returning from this function, in that case all the buffer gets flushed. This is the rule. Whatever buffer that has been maintained between the file between the program and the actual target, which is the actual file where the contents need to be written, that will be flushed when you are returning from your program. So if I will see here now, then you can see all the contents will be written here. Vikash 1, Vikash 2, Vikash 3 and Vikash 4. All the contents are available here. Okay, so all the things have been written here. Vikash 1, Vikash 2, Vikash 3, Vikash 4. Okay, now when I return from here, file also gets closed. I don't need to close it, but yes, it is always mandatory and it's a good practice to close the file before you leave. Okay, so if you have to open the file, close the file, then O file dot close. So once you close, then buffer is released. Else, while returning, buffer is released. Okay, now let us see again. After this statement, after the close, now we should be able to see all these 4 lines written into the file. So I have already told you that this mode is by default the writing mode. So once you open the file in this mode, a new file will always be created. So I'm just executing this statement. So again, this file size will become 0 KB, and now the new file has been created at 1327. So right now it has been created newly. So every time you will open the file with the same name, but in the write mode, then in that case a new file will be created altogether. It will not be like the existing file has been opened and it has been truncated. No, for that we have a different file opening mode, which is iOS trunk. So that we will discuss later on. So let us see, after the close statement, our file should have got the content, right? Earlier what happened in the previous example, after the return statement, the contents were flushed to the actual file. Now if I run this through this, if I reach till here and just before closing, let us see if something written. So here you can see there is nothing written, but before I return, I'm just closing it. So the rule is, if you close the file, so this is closing the file. So if you close the file, then what will happen? The flush will be flushed to the hard disk or to the sink, or you can say to the target where you were writing the contents. So now you can see the test has some contents. Whatever I have written, that is there. So this is how the files can be opened and file can be written, and also you have understood the concept of buffer, how the buffer is released by default. Okay, the close function or the returning from the function, this all closes the buffer, but you should remember that you need to call this close function every time. Okay, before closing, concluding the today's video, let us see the flush function as well. There is a flush function, okay, which is used for flushing the stream. Okay, so let us see what is the use of this. So at every place I am adding this, after every statement, after every line I am writing, I am just adding this flush o file. Okay, so now what will happen, you were able to see that until I reached this close statement, I was not able to see any content in my file. But what will happen if I have used flush? In case of I have used flush, then in that case, this content will be written to the file after every line. So after this line, I am flushing the stream. So this stream will be written, or the contents will be flushed out to the file, which is on the hard disk. So let us run this again. So this time again a new file will be created. So let us see on the next statement. Let's see what happens. So here you can see the new file again created at 1330, which is altogether a new file at this time. So now what I have written, Vikash 1. Okay, so as of now you can see that you know that there is nothing in this file. You can't see anything in this file. Let me close it and let me execute this flush statement. So once I flush this, you should be able to see this Vikash 1 here, right? So if you flush it, you will be able to see, right? If you flush it, then you will be able to see the content. And again, Vikash 2, Vikash 3, up till now you will be able to see Vikash 2 and Vikash 3. Let me just flush down this one as well. So up till Vikash 3, you will be able to see every statement added here. Vikash 1, Vikash 2, Vikash 3. Okay, now you can do one more thing. You can write like Vikash 4 as well. Everything has been written. So if you close it, again the stream has been closed. So please mind it that flush is different than close. Close means you are closing the stream and flush means you are flushing the streams. So I hope you might have understood this basic concept of writing to the file and how this has been written to the file. And I think hardly these things are taught in the schools, in the colleges. This is not told in this detail in the school time, in the college time. Whether you are doing the MCA, whether you are doing the BTech, this is hardly told to you. So please be with me and please follow my channel and be with me. We will be covering many more interesting concepts related to the C++ file handling and many more concepts. So be with me and you will surely get very latest things here, and also related to the C++ 14, C++ 18 and the latest editions of the C++ versions. We will be able to discuss all those things. Thank you, and subscribe my channel and share my videos. Thanks a lot. Have a nice day and bye-bye.